Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show, man. And today we got a hot show stored for you today. We're talking all about your brand story. You're building a business, you're building a brand. What is your brand story? How do you want to represent yourself in the marketplace? And we got a very special guest that's going to come on with us. Carrolee Moore is really going to break down the importance of you making sure that your brand is what you say it is and how it represents you, so that you can attract your ideal clients. You can convert those clients into raving fans and paying customers. Yeah, it's about to go down, so you do not want to miss this episode. So while you're here, do me a huge favor. Comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. And let's kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network, and when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, Ultimate Hustlers, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, coming to you live and direct from the Bob Crane Financial and Tax Planning Services studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Let me tell you a little bit about my good friend, Bob Crane. I affectionately call this dude the Alphabet Man because he has so many letters behind his name, it ain't even funny. But I'll tell you this, if you're building a business and you haven't figured out how to do your self-directed IRAs, you haven't figured out how to sock away $75,000 that's untouchable from your Uncle Sam and your Aunt Iris, well, you need a tax planner. There's a difference between tax prep and tax planning. When you're about to make that big ticket purchase, you need to be asking somebody, hey, is there any way I can write this stuff off? And that's why you connect with Bob Crane. So if you need tax planning, comment keyword tax planning. I'll connect you with my man, Bob Crane, and his financial and tax planning services. Today, we got a huge show in store for you because you guys have always been asking, Cortez, how do you build a brand? Well, guess what? I got somebody on here who's going to tell you exactly how to do it, walk you through it step by step, why it's important, how to make it all work. But before we get into that with Miss Carrolee Moore, I got to give you guys a couple of quick announcements. Listen, some of you guys have kind of jumped on board with the Cortez Hustle Affiliate Marketing Challenge. And just so that you know, I want to give you guys an update. I have 57 leads and 5 trial memberships in the program so far. So I'm super excited, man, about being able to add another stream of passive income to what I do. So if you have not checked out the Cortez Hustle Affiliate Marketing Challenge, where we're using the Rapid Profit Machine system, common keyword affiliate, man, I'll send you the link, man. Join the challenge. My goal is to help brand new entrepreneurs who haven't made any money online make your first $1,000 in the month of October. So if that sounds like something you want to participate with, then definitely let us know. Also, if you, my friend, would like to sponsor the Cortez Hustle Show, then let me know, man. You can sponsor a single episode, you can sponsor a week, or you can sponsor the show for the entire month. And I've got some great packages, and I throw my whole marketing engine behind your brand when you decide to sponsor the Cortez Hustle Show. I got some amazing things coming up. You guys know I've been tapped to do a local TV show here in the St. Louis market. Super excited about that. And yeah, man, we're gonna get it in. But enough about me. It's all about you, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not already, smash that share button, comment where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand. And I want to introduce you guys to someone who I ran across, as I often do, looking for great people to bring on this show, trolling in the Facebook group, and shot this young lady a message. And then I got a chance to see what she does, popped over to her website, and I was like, oh yeah, my people need to hear from you, Carrolee. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to present to some people. We're going to introduce to others brand strategist extraordinaire, Miss Carrolee Moore. Good morning, sis. How are you?
I'm good. It's early, but I'm awake and I'm running.
Well, we certainly appreciate you very, very much for getting up early to come hang out with us and share some of your passion work with our folks, because everybody is starting to get it, I think, Carrolee, about this internet thing, leveling the playing field. And if you don't represent yourself right, though, it ain't gonna make a lick of difference in your business. So before we get into your story and who you are and all of those good things, we like to start the Cortez Hustle Show with a quote of the day. So what I do is I'm going to give a quote. You can either chime in on that one, or if you have your own favorite quote, then you can share a favorite quote of your own. So my quote for today is from Will Rogers. Even if you're on the right track, you'll still get run over if you just sit there. So that's my quote of the day. Even if you're on the right track, right? Some of us know that the internet is that deal and we're on the right track, but we're just sitting there and your butt gonna get steamrolled. You gotta not only get on the right track, but you gotta get moving on the right track. Do you have a favorite quote, or do you want to chime in on that one?
I'll chime in on that one because the first thing that jumped into my mind is the false idea that you need to be on every single platform ever. Because what tends to happen is if you're on 5 different platforms, you're not going to be able to focus on any one of them. So you're there, but you're not really capitalizing, you're not moving, because it's impossible to do by yourself while also running your business. So I think that's probably the one thing that jumped straight into my mind, people in social media.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't master any one platform and really get the best bang for your buck if you're dabbling on all of them. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, that was our question, our quote of the day. Of course, brought to you by our good friends over at Bob Crane Financial and Tax Planning Services. The Alphabet Man will get you straight with keeping your money safe from your Uncle Sam and your Aunt Iris. Wealthy people, I find, Carrolee, have figured out how to not only not be afraid of the IRS, they actually make the IRS their little, well, this is a family show, so I can't say that, but they really know how to put the IRS and Uncle Sam to work for them. And if you're in business and you got money rolling in, you don't want to give it all to taxes. So connect with my good friend Bob Crane over at his financial and tax planning services. So as we get into this show, Carrolee, I ask everybody who comes on the Cortez Hustle Show, who the heck are you?
Well, it depends on who you ask. No, I'm kidding. First and foremost, I'm really proud of my heritage. I was born in for 10 years, raised on the island of Jamaica.
Okay.
So that really was a core of who I am. It still is. It's the reason why I love telling stories. It's because that's, a part of our culture. That's how we move. That's how we were able to, actually keep family history alive, is through, generation to generation. And so for me, that's a huge part of who I am. I'm a storyteller. Beyond what I do for business, obviously running a marketing agency, I'm also a preacher. So there's a part of storyteller there as well. I know you can't really.
Okay.
It's like,
I can't remember seeing that in the bio.
It's too much. I did in my bio say I'm a reformed Jill of all trades, because that's literally, I've dabbled in all these different areas. But at the core of who I am, I'm someone who cares deeply about people, and helping them unlocking whatever they have inside of them. So I do brand coaching as well, because a lot of times for business owners, it's not just about me selling my products. A lot of times there's a block on whether they believe themselves, they believe in their products, they believe that they can actually do it, and not really understanding and knowing how to capture what is inside of them to then pour out to their prospective clients. And so that's really, it's too much for me to go into all of the different things that I'm in. I'm a writer, I'm all these different things, but at the core of it, I'm a storyteller, and I really care deeply about helping people tell their stories.
I love that. I love that, because I am starting to understand the power in that. Can you talk a little bit about why story matters? Because I think for most entrepreneurs, we're trying to get to the bag. And a lot of times we're going straight for the kill, and we don't understand that all businesses are relationship businesses. And one of the best ways to build relationship is through stories. So talk about how you developed that. Is that because of your heritage and your background, that was immediately evident to you that this is part of building a solid business, or did that idea and concept evolve into you later adding that into your business?
To be honest with you, I was in sales for too long. What I learned from being in sales is, there are different types of salespeople. There are those people that you said, like, they go straight into the kill and they don't really want to know about you. They just want they want to sell, and that's kind of it. What I realized, which was a lot more effective for me as a salesperson, because of my personality, I wasn't the, going for the kill kind of person. And at first I thought that was a weakness, but I realized eventually, not only was I able to make the sale, I kept the person interested afterwards, kept in touch with them. They started making sales for me, introducing me to other people, because I sat down and I got to know who they were. I asked questions. I told my own stories. And stories are more powerful and impactful, because let's be honest, Apple, Nike, all these kind of bigger brands, they're not really selling you, hey, come buy our products. They're showing you what it's possible, to accomplish and achieve with said product. It's inspiration, it's breaking the odds, it's all these different things. Look at a Nike ad. You're seeing their sneakers and their stuff all sprinkled all the way through, but what you're getting, the message, the story is what hooks you and what you remember. The advertisement with Kaepernick and all these kind of different athletes that broke barriers, that's not selling sneakers. It's selling the story behind how you will feel and what movement you're going to be a part of by buying that sneaker, right? And so when you're talking to people about your brand, that story is it's more important than it's $14.99 versus this thing is going to change your life. This thing is going to help you to do this, blah, 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 blah. I heard, from me listening to you, I heard that you have these pain points, these things that you're struggling with. I want to help you.
Right.
And this is how I help you versus you need this.
Gotcha. I love that. So let's talk a little bit about your journey from, island of Jamaica. Eventually you landed in the States. Was that a whole family move, or how was that transition for you personally and for your family coming into the States and all of that kind of stuff? That were you always an entrepreneur? That Jamaican hustle come with you when you guys came? How did that all work? What is your background from child into college?
Sure, I'll split it into two. So honestly, I was always a social butterfly. I
Mhm.
was, talking to everyone. But when I came here, can you imagine I didn't sound like this. And it was not a pleasant experience. And so I became like a recluse. And so I started taking all of that energy that I used to be able to kind of spill out into the world, and I started writing.
Mm.
Writing stories. I started the way that I learned American English, and the way you guys pronounce words is through, reading things and media and all these music and all those different things. And so I really um, was able to understand culture and almost join in. Eventually, it's been 20 something years at this point.
Mhm.
Through that. And so there is a reason I think that I'm connected to media in this way, because a lot of it was a part of me creating and
Mm.
developing this new identity as, a Jamaican American at this point. My family was not a family of entrepreneurs. They're
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. That ain't what I see on TV now, Carrolee. They say Jamaican got 10 jobs, man, 10 hustle.
So this is the difference. 10 jobs is not owning
Gotcha.
anything.
Okay. Okay.
And as much as I love my family, and I absolutely do, everyone has been in their jobs or their field for at least 15 years at this point.
Mm.
All the grown people, right?
Yeah.
They've been in their jobs for a while. I was the wild card that graduated with 1 degree, decided to go in a completely different career, switched out of that in 2 years, went back to school, left that, went into a different career, switched to a different career, switched to another career, and now I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I was still am feeling like, the black sheep in that way. But one thing I remember, and this is my why, there's a part of my why, is my dad. He is a contractor. He's built, houses for forever. He's remodeled, done it. He's hired me and my sister, child slavery. To do certain things. And I always wanted to see him start his own thing. At one point, as a teenager, I actually created business cards and got them printed
Mm.
and gave it to him. And like hey, I'll be behind you like as much as I can at 17
Right.
to start your own business. And there's a block, and it's not just my dad. It's just a lot of people, right? Where it's like, I have this dream, I have this desire, but I can't do it. And there's a mindset block there. And what I love seeing now in my work is being able to help people move past that. Even as they've already made the decision to become entrepreneurs, that block is still there.
Yeah.
And helping them kind of be able to unlock that and tell their story in an authentic way is like one of the joys of my life.
I love it. I love it. And dad's still not making this like, and that's funny because that's one of the things that I'm bigger on trade school than traditional university for that reason. It's like, yeah, you can go get some experience for 2 years as an electrician, as a plumber, as an HVAC guy, as an architect, and it's easier to start your own thing there because you have a skill set that you can build on.
Mhm.
But like you said, that block is there for a lot of people who have a skill that they own and could build a business and an entire empire off that skill at the same time. You said you bounced around a little bit. And I take it that family was a little confused about, girl, would you sit yourself down? You ain't, listen, one of the things that they often say is, you're not going to build any retirement at one company because you keep bouncing. So what was those conversations like, and how did you fix in your mind that, no, I haven't figured it out, but I am going to, and if it requires me to leave another job and start a whole new career path, that's what I'm doing, because that's another block. Like, people get in a groove and it's like, I'm not liking this groove, but they're so afraid to switch or to change. And you did that several times. So What was that process like for you, and how did you stay strong and independent enough in your thinking to keep doing it until you found your group?
I'll tell you one thing, right? I'm a believer and I'm not ashamed of that. One of the things that I feel like God will do is, even in your own insecurity, even in your own, like, man, I'm screwing this up life, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck am I doing?
Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020. You're looking back like, oh, I killed that. No, you didn't.
Right.
I knew it was gonna work out the whole time. No, you didn't. I believed everything that they were saying. How did you have 2 degrees from top schools? What you doing with your life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is not for you. You need to figure. And so I had that, loop in the back, and they love me, right? My family loves me.
Absolutely.
They want the best for me. They want security for me. And I wanted the same thing. What I didn't want and what I wasn't willing to settle for are environments where I felt like I was being pushed down. I was never going to be a 9-to-5 person. I strove to be that. Realized, over the 10 plus years of staying in corporate America, it wasn't for me in that context, because whenever you ask questions that people don't know the answer to or don't want to answer, you become that person, right? And as someone in this skin, with the tenacity that I had in most of my career, it was difficult. And so in moving from industry to industry, what I realized is I was getting kind of the same thing. I was experiencing the same thing. I worked at MIT, one of the top universities in the world. Amazing experience, but in a job that I was like way overqualified for. And after a year and some change, I had to leave, and my boss at the time recognized it and allowed me to stay there while looking for a job, and actually was one of the people who were served as a reference. This is the kind of experience that I had, where I was jumping in what I thought was a negative, to be honest with you. Over the 10 years, I'm like, I'm seeing all these people. They were nurses when I met them. They still nurses.
Right.
Years. I thought that was a good thing. I thought, wow, I wish I went in, got one, degree and stuck with it. And what I realized, no shade to the people, but a lot of those people are starting to think about, okay, I wanted to be a nurse, but now I don't know. And because I kind of failed fast.
Right. Yeah. And that's key. That's key. It's like, no, I figured out quickly that I didn't like this and I moved on to something else. And I figured out quickly that I didn't like that either. And I moved on to something else. You started to not like this 18 months in, and you was hoping that it would change, that it would grow on you, and it hasn't.
Yeah.
And now you're too far down the road. So you think to make a pivot. You alluded to this, and I know we got to get to 1 minute motivation, but I got to go here. You alluded to it. And every time I have a queen on the show, I have to go here, because I know that it's a different world, even between you in corporate as a woman, Black woman, versus me in corporate as a Black man, right? Talk about that perspective. Like you said, I'm highly overqualified. I could probably run this joint. And that's just you in your own intellect. Let's not even throw Black girl magic on there. Just because I'm degreed, I'm well educated. If I throw the Black girl magic on there, then I'm probably supposed to own this place. But talk about some of the struggles that we face in corporate as Black women, especially. I see you rocking the ball fade, and it ain't easy trying to figure out how to conform, and the slight, you really gonna do that with your hair in this place? Like, so talk quickly about your experience in corporate, trying to maintain your identity and do your job and not conform.
It was extremely difficult. And I must say, first of all, I had locks before this that were down to my waist. I had an afro before that.
So you were really like,
clearly I have an issue with like conforming to things that I just I never thought of myself as a rule breaker, but clearly, looking back, man. But my experience in corporate America is probably very similar to other Black women, where you recognize that one, not everybody is for you, and you learn how to flex the muscle of just being discerning. Like, okay, this is my sponsor. This is the person I need to stay away from. This person I'm going to show up, because you ain't trying to, like, you figure out how to be strategic because you need to survive.
Right.
And I had to develop thick skin. I had to develop another persona to use in corporate spaces. I couldn't be myself.
Yeah.
There was no way to be, you walk into a room with locks, they're automatically assuming something, right? And so I thought I needed to be whatever. And corporate America over 10 years tried to break me. And I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
When I left that world, I was broken. I had to rebuild whatever confidence, whatever like self, worth I had. They tried to break it because, again, when they see, especially a Black woman who is not scared of asking questions or saying, actually, I don't agree.
Right.
I don't agree. I'm not going to just sit in this meeting and have you talk whatever. I experienced a intentional backlash to just, hey, know your place. And I've literally been told that. You're a manager, you're a senior manager, you're in leadership, yes, but I'm the head honcho, and you need to recognize that.
Wow.
I've been told that my face looked like I was upset. I'm like, oh, so now you're telling me what I feel. Got it. All the mess. Some one of my old coworker told me that I scared her.
Wow. Okay, that's a first for me. I never heard that.
And she, mind you, I don't do well with fake, right? I don't do well with fake, and I was trying to fake the funk, and eventually I just stopped caring. And I think that's really what led to. I made it director level at my last job, running the whole department, and I was over it. After going around shaking hands and kissing babies, I couldn't do it anymore. So
because that's a thing that I think a lot of our sisters will say is, it's this position. I just need to get to the next position, and then I'll be able to let my hair down a little bit if I just get to the next position. And you at the director level, it's more of the same and probably even worse, right?
It was worse.
Wow.
It was way worse. Because you think that you have some kind of power now that you're in leadership, and it's like, they're like, that's cute.
Got him.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, Carrolee, I appreciate you going there for me quickly, because I mean I believe that now is why Black women are the fastest growing arm of entrepreneurs in the entire world, because they're starting to figure that out. So I appreciate you sharing that. Well, now it's time for us to do a quick segment on the Cortez Hustle Show that we call 1 Minute Motivation. I play a short motivational clip and just ask you to give a couple takeaways, and I'll give a couple takeaways. I'm big on personal growth and self-development and being mindful of what I consume. So I try to bring a little bit of that to the show today. So audience, you feel free to comment a takeaway or two as well. So let's go ahead and get into 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
And so we're all waiting for perfect. It's an illusion that will never come to you, and it's an excuse to never show up and play. Your story is not meant to be your fortress. Your story is meant to be your fuel.
You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind. That dream is not going to wait and say, take a breather. It's going to say, come catch me. Catch me if you can.
You got to block out all of the noise around you that's going to tell you can't do it. Just believe that you can.
Tell yourself, I am more than my circumstances. I am more than my demons. I am great, and I will give my gift to the world because this is what I was born to do. Go get it, son. Go get it. Be sweet. 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 Go get it, son. If you're going to see it, if you're going to see breakthrough, then you are going to have to be okay with the process that is required. The one thing you need to do to go where you've never gone before, to have what you've never had before, is to change the way you think.
Hoo-wee. I don't know about you, Carrolee. The one reason I love doing this is because we all just listened to the same clip, but we all heard something different.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you hear?
A lot of it centered around mindset. A lot of it centered around getting that thing, which is, I mentioned it earlier, getting that thing that's inside of you that you got locked up and out. And I completely understand how that feels. It feels like you're literally ready to burst. And so I'm excited for shows like this, for opportunities for people to see that other people are in the same boat, that are just this close to, you know, making that leap. So I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a couple things that I jotted down, man. He said perfect is an excuse to not show up and play, right? That's so many people, and I'll say it another way. Perfectionism is just a bougie way to say procrastination. That's all it is to me. It's like people say, I can't launch my business, Cortez, because it ain't ready yet. I'm like, how much more ready does it have to get? And so that was huge. You got to win the war against your own mind, and you can talk
That's
about
the one
that
that
whole morning. Like, no, and I would say it's not even the war against your own mind. It's the war against the voice that you heard when you was 4 or 5 or 6 years old. That's on repeat from somebody that you know, love, and respect, and you gotta figure out how to overcome that voice, right? Because a lot of us think that's us. No, that's not us. It just dropped in so early in life that it's become a part of us. So you gotta figure that thing out and get good at blocking out the noise, right?
Yeah.
I can tell that you are good at blocking out the noise.
I have to become an expert, honey.
So that's I mean, it's huge, and that mindset piece, and we'll get into a little bit more of how you help people unlock that. But man, if you can become your own best cheerleader, right? I'm a believer as well, and people miss this. Scripture says all things are possible for him that believes. Her. It didn't say all things are possible for him who has a spouse that believes, or him who has homegirls that believe, her that has home. No. There's only one person required to believe, and that's you, my friend. So that is 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to us by our good friend Bob Crane, Financial and Tax Planning. If you have not already booked your free consultation with Bob, just comment Tax Planning, and he's going to help get you all the way straight. How to make sure that you put your money to the side so that Uncle Sam doesn't get it. How to make sure that you are doing things in compliance when it comes to IRS regulations, and how to not play yourself, because sometimes we're making purchases that we could be making through our business and getting huge tax breaks and things of that nature. You need a tax planner as well as you need a tax preparer. So that's what Bob Crane is. He's going to help you plan your tax situation, especially for those of you who are in the entrepreneurship space. So talked a little bit about where you came from and all of that stuff, and how you bounced around until you just said, man, listen, I just got to go do me. And if you don't like it, kick rocks, right? So what was it like starting to do me when you jumped out there as an entrepreneur, right? What was that like? Did you do it like with a parachute? Had you already saved and stacked your money? You had your 6 months, your 12 months of living and all that kind of stuff? Well, they just do it like me. I just walked in at 9 a.m. one morning, and by 9:30, I was back in my car on my way home. I had no real plan.
Listen, right? I always joke, but it's not a joke. I don't think I jumped. I was pushed. And I had been freelancing for almost a decade. Okay. At the time before, like right when I was pushed into doing this full time. I was doing another pivot because I'm the pivot queen. I actually did a whole workshop on how to pivot from like sector to sector and industries. I'm going to write a book one day because that is a skill. But I was pivoting into tech marketing. Okay. And well, I wanted to, and I was making my moves. Literally spent a whole 6 months launching a LinkedIn plan and executing it, eventually getting people to actually reach out to me for marketing jobs. And so I was getting some traction, but the same thing kept coming back. Hey, you're the top part of the T. You don't have a lot of the bottom part of the T for marketing, meaning I had a bunch of different experiences and skill sets. They realized I could do the job, but there are these purple unicorns in tech where they've literally worked that specific job before at the same competitor over there. So that's the kind of people that they want to hire, someone who's done the exact job, before. And I could never compete with that. After doing that for 9 months, I realized you're spending a lot of energy here while this business that you're not feeding, you're getting a lot more traction here. Because again, pandemic happened, a whole bunch of people started, starting businesses. And of course, they're going to need help with branding. They're going to need logos and websites and all these different things. And so I was getting friends of friends, old clients coming back up again, like, hey, can we refresh this? Like, and after, a few knocks on the head, hello.
Hello.
You're feeding the wrong.
Running from this.
Exactly. You're feeding the wrong thing. I moved, sold all my stuff, shipped my car to Dallas, hopped on a plane, and came here with nothing, and still thinking I was going to try to find a job. I had some savings, and God was like, no, that's not why I moved you from that environment to this environment to be the same person. That's not what this is about. So within a month of being here, I filed my LLC and actually decided to do this thing for real. So the transition for me from corporate America, I was done, but I don't think I really thought that I could be fully done and go in. I was like, oh, I'll transition little by little and no, I jumped
right.
the board into deep end and doing this full time, and there is a difference if you're an entrepreneur, kind of side hustling it versus full time, 40 hours a week, figuring out how to eat. It's a different.
It is because literally, you don't kill something you don't eat. So
I eat what I kill, and it sounds crazy to people, and they're like, what? But I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been the craziest experience, just the last few weeks, the craziest experience of my life. But that transition, I got pushed, and I'm really happy about it.
Good. I love it. And that's what it is. It is like people don't understand that, yes, I may not kill something today, so that means I'm going to go hungry today. But y'all don't understand how I am fed off the chase. It was the chase fed me. So I'm going to be okay until tomorrow. And I'm eagerly anticipating chasing tomorrow. Whether I win or lose, it's the chase. And I've stopped trying to communicate that to people who are non-entrepreneurial because it won't compute. It just won't compute.
It's like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know how you do what you do. Being honest and no judgment. Everyone, I need workers, so everyone is not going to be CEO. But at the same time, it's a different mindset, different beast, completely different way of looking at progress. Because, like I said, I failed a lot. I think it prepared me for entrepreneurship because it's just a lot of failing forward.
Good. So when I come to you and I say, hey, sis, I got my stuff in order. I kind of launched the business. I kind of got a direction that I might think about going in, but I need some help. So what does that process look like? And for you getting down to got to understand the mental block first, and then we can develop a plan. So how do you help someone develop that brand story?
So, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. One of my first brand coaching clients, because the program that I'm developing that eventually will be in some kind of a course somewhere is simple. When you start, a lot of times people want to start with the product. You start with yourself. You are the biggest billboard for your brand.
Yeah.
Period.
I love that.
How you show up. I call myself the bald marketer because literally I'm bald. And I'm a marketer. It's not that complicated, right? But it sticks because it's specific to me. When people hear that around, they're thinking of me. That already, even before I step into a room, my brand is there, right? And so we start with, who are you? What's your why? Why are you doing this? Why you? Why this? Why now? Right? And a lot of times people try to skip over that. I want to make money. That's not going to sustain you when stuff starts hitting the fan. Trust me.
Yes. It's people don't get it. The money ain't enough. It's because if money was enough, then your job would be enough. You wouldn't even jump into entrepreneurship. If money was enough to fulfill you, then you was already getting money on your job.
Right.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Right.
Good.
And then we go into understanding what your product is. A lot of times people are like, well, I'm selling skincare. No, you're selling freedom from wearing makeup every day to that person who's been struggling with acne for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
You're selling time back because they don't have to go and do all this extra stuff in the morning. They could just get up and there's a difference between what your product is and what you're selling.
What you're selling,
because the story behind that is more important. It's more powerful, and it sticks. It's sticky. Right. Stories are sticky.
And you talked about that with Nike selling inspiration.
Exactly.
I'm not selling active wear. Yeah, that's what you're gonna get when you swipe your credit card. But why you're getting this is because you need to feel inspired, motivated to get out and do something.
Exactly.
And that's what they're selling.
Yeah. Right? The just do it part, that's a whole. So to me, getting down to who you are, why you're doing what you're doing, and then thinking about what you're actually selling, not what your products are. What are you selling? What is the message? And then how is it positioned in the market, right?
Yeah.
Are you trying to be the Louis Vuitton of event production and curation? That's the case. How do you want to create that story? It can't be the same as, Pookie down the street that has 2 tables and and a banner who's doing it. So a lot of times people want to, the Louis Vuitton of da-da-da-da. And I'm like, but that your customer service is not.
Yeah. So do you have Louis Vuitton service? Do you have a Louis Vuitton brand? Do you have Louis Vuitton high-end everything when I come to you and get my event plan, or you got a sheet cake on the table at my graduation party or whatever?
And by the way, there's nothing wrong with a sheet cake on the table. If that's what you will find clients.
That's where you position in the marketplace.
But you have to position yourself where you feel it. And the biggest piece, this is the thing that all marketers say to people, and they kind of roll their eyes when we're talking about knowing who your target audience is. It's like, okay, how do I find that? How do I figure that out? Research. My target audience has changed a bunch, at least 3 times since last year, in 1 year, because I was side hustling it. I knew who my target audience was. I knew because I've been working with them. I understand how they thought, what their roadblocks to purchasing might be, et cetera, et cetera. As I went into full-time entrepreneurship, I realized I can't eat with the people
Okay.
that I was,
That audience.
right.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that were kind of slow to buy. You had to figure out how to like rub their back a little bit and be like, hey, you can do. I'm not in that business.
And they want to pay the least and get the most.
You're right.
That's all right.
So eventually I had to change my model. I now understand, okay, I focus on reform DIYers, people who are scaling because of what they've been doing. They've learned, they're crafty, they understand how to grind, but now they want to get to that next level that's going to require them to back off a little bit from the inside their business and work on their business. And so they're pushing, okay, I'm going to put a bookkeeper here. I'm going to put, a marketing person here to handle my social media. They're putting their team together, and we want to come in and be that team, right? Those are my target audience, specifically women. I love working with them of a certain age. Mine is probably around 35 to 45. That's the age of folks that I found my sweet spot in. Figuring out who your person is. You don't need to know what kind of grocery food they buy. All that, I get it.
Right,
There's a whole, idea. You go online and looking for marketing personas, and that's, you will find all this mess. As long as you understand what motivates your target audience to buy, what their main blocks to purchase would be, and also where they kind of congregate. Are your people on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they whatever? So figuring out your target audience. Once you figure out what your target audience is, right, through research, you need to approach them. You need to understand, again, how they think, what's going to be the blocks to service. And if you've already engaged with that target audience, maybe you had one person that is now like, oh, I want to work with more people like this. You need to become their best friend, because you want to get as much information out of them as to how they think, why they, they purchased what they purchased. What was it that stuck out for your business versus anyone else who's doing the exact same thing? And once you get that, try to replicate that, market in that way. That should inform all of your content. That should inform, again, how you, even approach dressing and putting yourself out there. And once you're out there, being consistent with that. One of the first things I did when I became like full-time, whatever, is I had a brand shoot. Because I knew, okay, I'm bald now. I want to put this to my, not advantage, but I wanted to stand out. There's, a marketing person on every corner, saying that they can, design a logo and build your website. What makes me different, right? What is my story? And so I decided, okay, I'm going to do, and anywhere you go on any of my social media platforms, you're going to see the same kind of look and feel. I love green. It's all over everything.
I love it.
I'm earthy, right? But it's also my personality with like a little bit of pop of color. That's who I am. That's my brand. And even though I have a whole team behind me that's doing work, I'm the face. And so therefore, people see that. So that's the trajectory. Yeah.
And that should be attracting your idea. It should be speaking to, because the way I describe it is, imagine you trying to go and learn every language so you can speak to every person in their own language. No, you just identify one group of people that you're going to talk to. You master their language, and that's all you talk. And that is the deal. So we got to take a quick break. Then we'll come back. We're going to get some freestyle from Carrolee Moore. It's about to go down, because I know she got bars. She's sitting there playing, but she's got bars. We're going to get to the freestyle, the Carrolee Moore version on the other side of this break. You guys keep it locked right here.
Yo, what's up, good people? It's your man, H. Cortez Hustle. Listen, when you want to get away from all the hustle and bustle of your life, you want to unplug, you need a place to unwind and chill, I want to tell you all about Patty Creek's Farm. Man, it was amazing getaway for my wife and I. We just came down. It's about 2 hours southwest of Missouri, of St. Louis, and we just had a blast. There's plenty for you to do around the farm, or if you want to do nothing at all, I want you to listen to this. Just peace and quiet, right? Man, this is an amazing place. The grounds are beautiful, well kept. Miss Patty and Mr. Bob are some amazing human beings, and they're going to make sure that you have a very good time. So go check them out at Patty Creek's Farm. you will not be disappointed. And for those of you who are grinding all the time, remember, you need time for self-care. And what better way to do that than to unplug? Come get you a little bit of peace and quiet, get you a little bit of peace of mind, relax, chill. One of the coolest bed and breakfasts we've ever been to, Patty Creek's Farm. Check it out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I'm, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle. That is my lovely guest, Carrolee Moore from CMooreCreatives.com. And we're talking all about your brand story, building and crafting a brand, starting with yourself. I often say, Carrolee, that entrepreneurship is about the entrepreneur. A lot of people miss that. Yeah, I want to wow my customers and I want to love on them. But really, this whole journey is about me and my evolution, my internal work that I'm doing on myself, and the outward reflection of that growth tends to lead to business, right? And people miss that, and they don't get that part. But we do a segment every episode, Carrolee, called Freestyle, because I know you got bars, sis, right? But it's not about rapping or rhyming. I realize that as I build this media empire that will one day surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney, right? I don't always ask the right questions. The conversation may not evolve to where we want it to go. So freestyle is your opportunity to give us 2 minutes of either something you want to reiterate that we talked about earlier that you felt was really important, or something that we haven't gotten to and you want to make sure you get it in on this episode. So hit us with your best freestyle Carrolee Moore version right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I don't know if we tapped on this, but I really want to get into working on your business and not in your business. A lot of times people think of marketing or bookkeeping, all these different things. They're like, I can't afford it. And I always ask the question, can you afford not to? Because if you're thinking about scaling, if you're thinking about, we always hear about the 6-figure, 7-figure businesses. If you look at those businesses, they're not running their own bookkeeping. They're not running their own marketing. You have better things to do than be worrying about, oh my God, did I post on Facebook today? Did I post on? Go run your business. Get people in place that are actually experts at these different things and let them work, let them run. One of the first things I did was hire a virtual assistant because I knew I didn't really want to do all the admin pieces. I go to networking events every single day and I have hundreds of business cards. I want them in my CRM. Do I want to do it myself? I really don't. I hired someone to go in there and do it for me. A lot of times we make excuses about like, well, I can't afford it. Well, I can't do this. I'm not saying go rip from the beginning and spending thousands and thousands of dollars on nonsense. I'm saying strategically invest in the things that you believe will actually move your business forward, both in time and money. And if the time that you're spending pulling, different things together is actually taking away from you going out and making new business, then you're not running your business. Your business is running you. And by the end of this, you're going to be burnt out and you're not going to see the returns on your investment. So I can't stress enough, working on your business is often more important than working in it. And so putting people in positions, whether it's, a marketer or not, figuring out where those holes are and figuring out what you don't really want to do and what you can delegate to other people. So that's really my big thing is learn how to work more on your business, and in it, it will absolutely 2x, 3x, even 5x your business, and you'll see the dividends for sure.
I love it. And I'm so excited because I'm at that place. I just hired my first team and I'm like, man, listen, y'all don't understand. My haters think they're hiring now, right? Because they can't keep up now. But now that I got a team, man, y'all really finna be hating around here. It's about to go down. But you're right, because what you end up with is a glorified job and not a business if you don't start the process of putting your people in place. I had Michelle Seiler Tucker. She's big on buying and flipping businesses, and she talked about people as one of her 6 P's. And she said, you don't build a business, you build people, and the people build a business. And I was like, okay. And I first heard it, I didn't get it. And then I started thinking, man, I don't want to be booking all these people for this doggone podcast myself. I got other things to do. Like, well, hire somebody to do it for you.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. So that is freestyle right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the Carrolee Moore edition, cmorecreatives.com. Tell everybody how they can connect with you if they want to work with you or follow your journey as you continue to build.
Sure. So if you go to More Creatives / Instagram links, you'll see a bunch of different things, different ways to get in touch with me, work with me. We have some free goodies on there, as well as I'm a contributing writer for Bald Life magazine. So if there are any baldies here, I mean, he's like, there's a whole movement there that I'm a part of. Feel free to kind of connect and join that way. And then I am building up my Instagram because I really wasn't focused on Instagram because most of my people are on LinkedIn, which is really what I was focusing on. But I'm there now. I'm building up.
Okay.
Y'all come and follow me. It's my name, Carrolee Moore, on Instagram. Please come say hi and let's do this thing together.
All right. And you said cmorecreatives.com / Instagram.
Links.
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 All right. So I'm just putting that in the comments for everybody to go check out Carrolee Moore. Man, follow her on IG. She's building up her platform. And that's the funny thing, because I am, Facebook was the platform that I chose to dominate, then YouTube. And now I'm pivoting into the LinkedIn space and IG space a little bit more. So this has been fun for me. I don't know about my audience, but this has been fun for me, Carrolee, because this entrepreneurship thing, the reason this is the Cortez Hustle Show, part of my why is to bring entrepreneurship to the place that working a job is. It needs to be equally as available as an option as going to get a job. And that's my mission. I believe that's why I've been created. I believe that entrepreneurship is the shortest distance between working class and wealthy. And everybody should have their hands in some sort of business, whether you own and run it, whether you just own it and other people run it. I follow a guy called Wall Street Trapper in the investment world. Yep. He said, the hardest thing in the world to do is to own and run a successful business. But the easiest thing in the world to do is buy a piece of one. I'm like, oh, that is good stuff. Because everybody could own a business. Just buy a piece of one. You don't got to own and run it yourself. Just buy a piece of one. So any last words before I let you get out of here?
So I'm thankful for you to, bringing me on here. And as someone who was scared to jump off the ledge, if you are, if you're on that precipice, just jump, just do it. I promise you, it's better. Whatever you think is scary, I think it's scarier to stay in a place that you've outgrown. So if you're thinking about it, just do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Carrolee Moore from cmorecreatives.com. Till we talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. So hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.